Let me ask you a question. Who's in control of your life right now? You or your habits? Because here's the truth. You don't decide your future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. The difference between success and struggle, between being fit or unhealthy, wealthy or broke, fulfilled or miserable, it all comes down to the patterns you live by every single day. Your mind is the control center of your life. Every action you take, every decision you make, and every habit you develop starts in your mind. The way you think determines the way you behave, and the way you behave determines the results you get. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions, and when you control your actions, you control your life. The biggest reason people struggle to change is that they focus only on changing their behavior without addressing the thoughts and beliefs that drive those behaviors. But real transformation doesn't start with what you do. It starts with how you think. Every action you take is a reflection of your internal world. If your mind is filled with doubt, negativity, and limiting beliefs, your actions will reflect that. You will hesitate, second-guess yourself, and play small because deep down, you don't believe you are capable of more. On the other hand, if your mind is trained to focus on possibility, growth, and resilience, your actions will align with that mindset. You will take risks, push through challenges, and move forward with confidence. The truth is, your external reality is nothing more than a mirror of your internal beliefs. Change your mindset and your actions will follow naturally. Most people live on autopilot, allowing their emotions and past experiences to dictate their actions. They react to situations instead of consciously choosing how to respond. If something doesn't go their way, they let frustration or fear take control, which leads to procrastination, avoidance, or self-sabotage. But those who master their mind understand that they have power over their emotions. They don't allow fear to stop them, stress to break them, or failure to define them. Instead, they train their mind to stay focused, disciplined, and resilient no matter what. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your actions. When you take control of your actions, you take control of your results. One of the most powerful ways to master your mind is to become aware of your self-talk. The words you say to yourself daily shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, your brain will find ways to prove that belief true. But if you tell yourself that you are strong, capable, and unstoppable, your actions will align with that belief. It's not about fake positivity. It's about conditioning your mind to support your success instead of sabotaging it. Mastering your mind also requires shifting your focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel, and whatever you feel drives your behavior. If you focus on problems, you'll feel stuck. If you focus on solutions, you'll find ways to move forward. If you focus on fear, you'll hesitate. If you focus on progress, you'll take action. The mind is like a muscle. The more you train it to focus on what empowers you, the stronger it becomes. And when your mind is strong, your actions become unstoppable. Your identity is the foundation of everything you do. It shapes your habits, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. People often try to change their lives by focusing on actions alone, exercising more, saving money, or waking up earlier, but they struggle to make these changes stick because they never shift the core of who they believe they are. True, lasting transformation doesn't come from forcing new behaviors. It comes from upgrading your identity. When you change the way you see yourself, your actions naturally follow. Every habit you have today exists because it aligns with your current identity. If you identify as someone who isn't good with money, you will find ways to prove that belief true. Overspending, avoiding financial planning, or making impulsive purchases. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with motivation, your brain will look for excuses to skip the gym or procrastinate on important tasks. But the opposite is also true. If you believe you are a disciplined, focused person, you will act accordingly without even thinking about it. Your identity becomes your autopilot, guiding your choices without requiring willpower or motivation. The most powerful way to create change in your life is to shift the way you define yourself. Instead of trying to force new habits, start by deciding who you want to become. If you want to be healthy, stop saying, "I'm trying to eat better." Instead, say, I am the kind of person who takes care of my body. If you want to be successful, stop saying, I hope I can make this work. Say, I am the kind of person who figures things out and gets results. Every action you take should reinforce that new identity. The more you act in alignment with who you want to be, the stronger that belief becomes. Your identity isn't set in stone. It's a story you tell yourself every day. If you've been telling yourself the wrong story, you have the power to rewrite it. You weren't born with limiting beliefs. They were programmed into you by past experiences, the people around you, and the environment you grew up in. But just as they were learned, they can be unlearned. The key is to question every belief that holds you back. Instead of saying, that's just the way I am, ask, who do I want to become? The moment you make that decision, everything changes. The secret to building an unstoppable identity is consistency. Every small action is a vote for the person you want to be. If you wake up early once, it's a good start. If you do it every day, you become someone who is disciplined. If you take bold action once, it's exciting. If you do it repeatedly, you become someone who is fearless. The more you reinforce your new identity, the more natural those actions become until one day you're not even trying. It's just who you are. And once your identity shifts, success becomes inevitable. Every decision you make, every habit you keep, and every action you take is driven by two forces, pain and pleasure. These are the core motivators behind everything you do, whether you realize it or not. The human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and this simple truth controls the way you behave every single day. The challenge is that most people allow these forces to run their lives unconsciously, never realizing they have the power to rewire their responses. When you learn to take control of pain and pleasure, you take control of your habits, your discipline, and ultimately your destiny. The reason people struggle to change is that they link pleasure to bad habits and pain to good habits. They associate eating junk food with comfort and working out with suffering. They see scrolling on their phone as relaxing, but reading a book as effort. They think taking risks is scary, but staying in their comfort zone feels safe. This is why willpower alone never works. Because if deep down you believe something painful, you will avoid it, no matter how much you tell yourself you should do it. The key to transformation is shifting what you associate pain and pleasure with so that your mind starts working for you instead of against you. Pain is one of the most powerful motivators. People will do far more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. This is why many people only take action when they hit rock bottom, when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the pain of change. But why wait for things to get worse? Why wait until you are out of shape, in debt, or unhappy before making a shift? You can use pain as a tool by intentionally linking massive discomfort to bad habits. If you want to quit smoking, don't just think about the minor inconvenience of quitting. Visualize the long-term damage, the struggle to breathe, the hospital visits, the regret of lost time with loved ones. Make the pain so intense that continuing the habit is no longer an option. At the same time, you must link pleasure to the habits you want to build. Most people struggle to stick to good habits because they focus only on the difficulty. Instead of seeing exercise as exhausting, attach pleasure to the energy, confidence, and strength it gives you. Instead of seeing waking up early as a sacrifice, see it as a chance to take control of your day and get ahead in life. Instead of viewing discipline as restrictive, recognize that it creates freedom. The way you frame your experiences determines how you feel about them, and how you feel about them determines whether you take action or not. The secret to lasting change is mastering this principle. If you can make bad habits feel painful and good habits feel pleasurable, you won't have to force yourself to change. You will want to change. Once you rewire these associations, your habits will shift effortlessly and success will become natural. Momentum is the invisible force that drives success. It is the difference between struggling to make progress and achieving results effortlessly. When you have momentum, everything feels easier. Small wins build on each other, confidence grows, and success starts to feel automatic. But without momentum, even simple tasks feel overwhelming, motivation fades, and every step forward feels like an uphill battle. The key to achieving anything great in life is learning how to create and sustain momentum, because once you have it, nothing can stop you. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for motivation before they take action. They think they need to feel inspired before they start working out, building a business, or developing a new skill. But motivation is unpredictable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. If you rely on motivation, you will never be consistent. Momentum, on the other hand, is predictable. It is created through action, no matter how small. The moment you start moving, even if you don't feel like it, your brain shifts. A body in motion stays in motion. One small step leads to another. And before you know it, you are making progress without even thinking about it. Success is built on consistency, not intensity. Most people fail because they start too big. They try to change everything at once, push themselves too hard, and burn out quickly. But the secret to momentum is starting small. Instead of committing to an hour at the gym, start with 5 minutes. Instead of reading an entire book, read 1 page. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire routine, make one small improvement. These tiny actions might seem insignificant at first, but they create a sense of progress, and progress fuels momentum. The more you succeed, even in small ways, the more your brain craves more success. Momentum also works in the opposite direction. Just as positive momentum makes success easier, negative momentum makes failure inevitable. If you skip one workout, it becomes easier to skip the next. If you hit snooze once, it becomes a habit. If you let one bad decision slide, it leads to another. This is why small choices matter. Every action is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. The key is to recognize when you are losing momentum and correct course immediately. The longer you wait, the harder it is to start again. One of the most powerful ways to maintain momentum is to create systems that remove friction. If you want to work out, lay out your clothes the night before. If you want to read more, keep a book where you can see it. If you want to wake up earlier, set your alarm across the room. Make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Momentum thrives on simplicity.